In the hallowed annals of the kingdom of Nuzantralithia, amid the tapestries woven with golden myths and half-forgotten truths, there existed a curious tale of a sovereign ruler once, a man of humble attire but elaborate legend, who rose from the cobbled alleys of the eastern fiefdoms to the highest throne beneath the seven-layered sky. He was oft portrayed as a carpenter of dreams, a man whose silence was marketed as wisdom and whose every shrug was interpreted by court astrologers as a gesture of divine subtlety. The chroniclers of the realm, carefully selected by the Ministry of Historical Sanitization, dutifully ensured that his story gleamed with mythic luster as they quietly edited away footnotes of doubt and whispers of forgery. This peculiar ruler, known in courtly euphemism as the Humble Majesty, claimed to carry a scroll of knowledge from the great temple of learning, yet the parchment itself, when sought by dissenters or sages, seemed to vanish into bureaucratic fog, guarded as though it contained the secrets to immortality or, perhaps more truthfully, none at all. Questions about the scroll's origins were dismissed with elegant derision, as though the very act of inquiry was a sacrilege against the sacred art of forgetting inconvenient facts. It became, in time, an unspoken tradition among the elite. Never question a scroll that cannot be shown, especially if it belongs to one who smiles disarmingly and speaks with comforting emptiness. Beyond the veil of mystery surrounding his academic chronicles, there lingered a more spectral inheritance, the rumor, wafting like incense through palace halls, that the sovereign's lineage traced back to the disavowed house, the one long banned and demonized in every edict and mural. Yet this potential paradox, that one descended from those vilified as traitors now reigned as savior, was carefully shrouded in ambiguity, protected by an armada of sycophants skilled in the art of deflection, and by a citizenry trained to mistrust memory. Thus did the kingdom embrace the contradiction, as all fairy tales eventually do, with a shrug and a song. But perhaps the most enchanting of his fables was that of the Chariot of the People, a grand and gleaming promise forged during his lesser days as steward of the River City. In those years, he paraded before the masses a prototype chariot, named Eshemkara, forged allegedly by the hands of local artisans and destined to carry the dignity of Nuzantralithia into a future unbound by foreign wheels. Heralded as a marvel of independence and ingenuity, the chariot rode through markets and sermons, lauded by minstrels and bureaucrats alike. And yet, once the trumpet of ascendancy sounded and the sovereign reached his throne, the chariot's forge grew cold, its wheels still, its promise quietly buried beneath layers of ceremonial ribbon. Many seasons passed, and not a single Eshemkara roamed the kingdom's roads, except in portraits and state exhibitions frozen in time. When the people asked, politely at first, why the grand chariot had vanished like so many other promises, they were told it was merely symbolic, an emblem of what could be, rather than what would be. Those who dared press the issue further were soon labeled as enemies of progress, malcontents who simply misunderstood the sophisticated nature of political theater. Thus, in the kingdom of Nuzantralithia, it became an article of faith that sincerity was measured not by fulfillment but by fervor, and that a broken promise repeated often enough became a virtue in itself. The sovereign, unburdened by the weight of outcomes, glided through his years with serene detachment, always appearing to care just enough, and never quite enough to act. His ability to say nothing while being praised for wisdom was revered as a mystical gift, one that none dared to question aloud unless they wished to be exiled into the forest of forgotten voters. And so, his era came to an end not with thunder nor applause, but with an orchestrated hum of artificial nostalgia. He departed the palace with the same elusive smile he had worn since the beginning, leaving behind libraries of contradictions, museums of unbuilt dreams, and a people so thoroughly confused between myth and reality that they no longer remembered the chariot that never came, the scroll never seen, nor the truth they were once forbidden to know.